Hey everyone, it's Lisa with Are You My Cousin? It's time for our weekly Thursday afternoon Facebook Live or YouTube Live, depending on where you're watching from. So I want to welcome you as you come in. You can see that I actually have someone with me today. I have Daniel Horowitz from MyHeritage. Hey, Daniel.
Hey,
And
Lisa.
I'm so excited to have Daniel with me. He is talking to us from Israel, and it is the evening over there. So thank you for joining us on your at this later time for you. So
With
Daniel's in
pleasure.
Israel. If you guys want to drop in where you're watching from, that's always fun to see, I think, where people are watching from on these afternoons. We typically get people from lots of different places. So welcome, welcome. As you're coming in, if you are brand new here to the Are You My Cousin Facebook Live, YouTube Live channels, these lives are focused to help you be able to basically find your ancestors, grow that family tree, but not be so overwhelmed in the whole research process. It's easy to do, but we don't need to be overwhelmed in our genealogy research, right, Daniel?
Well, we try, but some families are really overwhelming.
Yeah, this is true. Very complicated. So Danny's here from Loveland, Ohio. Yes, we're warm down here too. Eric from Albany, New York. Catherine, North Carolina. Oh, you're not far from me. I'm from North Carolina for those of you watching. Hey, Pam from Ohio, and Deb's back with us again. Thank you so much. I see a lot of names that I recognize every week, and I do appreciate your support each week that you guys come. So now that we're here, we're going to go ahead, and I know folks are going to be joining us. Hey, Michael, good to see you. I know people are going to be joining us, but I want to make the most I can of having Daniel with us today to talk about MyHeritage. And so Daniel, I'm going to let you tell them a little bit about who you are and what your role is at MyHeritage.
Okay, excellent. So I have been dedicated to genealogy since 1986. That's way back when I was really a kid. And it was thanks to my grandmother who was always telling me stories about her family in, uh, well, today it's Romania, but all Eastern Europe, actually, and how they came to Venezuela, which is where I was actually born. I came to Israel in 2005, and in 2006, I started working for MyHeritage. We were a very small company. We were less than 10 people. And today, well, I'm very happy ever after, I should say. I'm the genealogy expert over there. Today, I am in charge of spreading the love, both virtually, but also and more in conferences and webinars and lectures. And I'm very happy to see all those people from Ohio because I'm going to be there very soon. I'm going to be at the Ohio Regional Conference. And then I hope to see you all in California, in Sacramento and NGS. So finally, we're getting back to in-person conferences. That's very, very exciting for me.
That's very exciting for me as well. I know I thought they did a fantastic with the all virtual Roots Tech, but I did miss seeing people face to face and in the hallways and that kind of thing. So glad everybody's
Yeah, we
here.
need to schmooze a little bit.
Right, right. I know. Oh gosh, we have folks from all over. People keep coming in, and it's interesting. I do have a lot of folks who watch from up in Ohio, and so I'm learning more about
Okay.
Ohio because my son has moved up there. But hey, so we've got Barbie from Alberta and Diane from South Carolina, and we have Kansas with Teresa. So wonderful. Okay, so let's jump into MyHeritage because the wonderful thing about conferences is like Rootstack is that's when Daniel gets to tell us all about the brand new things that come out
Oh,
from MyHeritage
yes.
and some of the updated things. And they've been really, really exciting this time around. And so as we're talking, feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. I will be monitoring those. So we'll kind of get to any questions you have toward the end. And Danny, I know you had dropped one into my email, so I have that one up already. So we'll address that too. So just to let you know. And we will get started. All right, Daniel, I'm going to go ahead.
Okay.
Did you want me to share your screen first? Would that
Uh,
be the easiest?
yes, go ahead, share my screen, and I have already prepared a demo site. And for all of you who are not probably familiar with MyHeritage, this is how the tree can be viewed, and MyHeritage has a few ways of customizing this view, or in a pedigree or a fan view, and different options for you. And this is my personal preferred one because you can see here more ancestors both on the height and the width. And you can see all your cousins and all your ancestors right there. And according to this, I'm seeing that I have a birthday in 8 days. But no, this is like really not me. This is kind of my alter ego. And I see that I also have some matches, which is the strong point, one of the strong points of MyHeritage, being able to give you matches with other family trees or with records, which currently we have 16.8 billion, that's billion with a B, records from all over the world. But you mentioned RootsTech, and yes, we normally prepare a lot of new things, exciting things for RootsTech. One of the things that we had is the timeline that you were telling me, Lisa. You liked it very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like the timeline, not only because how nice presents your family, but because it also helps you curating and making sure that your family tree is accurate. So the timeline view is right there under family tree menu. In the drop down, you will see for some time the new tag right there in the timeline. And whenever you click over there, immediately it's going to create that timeline dynamically for you. So you will be able to see all your ancestors. Now, this is similar to the pedigree view that we are used to, but instead of going left to right, is going right to left. And the reason for that is you have this timeline at the top with the years and the decades that marked the life of the people there. And you will also notice that we have those highlighted areas in the timeline. And those are some of the most relevant events, both in the world and also locally, depending where you are connecting. So if you are from the United States, you're going to see here, for example, the American Civil War. But if you are from France, you will see the French Revolution or any other more localized event. And one of the nice things about this view of the family tree is the possibility to understand the context of your family. So in this case, for example, I will see that my father, Brian Jansen, he was born right after World War II. Okay. And I may notice that just because he was born in 1945, but only when I see it now, like in color and displayed on this way, I can really learn and realize that. Another thing that MyHeritage will tell you here is the age of the person, of the parent, when the kid was born. And yeah, we may have filled our family trees with dates and places, but I don't know how many really realize that, for example, the person was born when the father was, or the parent was 35 or 25, or even I have examples here a little bit lower than are talking about 18 or 20 years old. And that is something that we normally don't pay attention to. The other thing that the timeline will tell you is whenever you have a birth and a death date. And in this case, you can see both here that it's 1894 and 1965. But also when you go over the mouse, on each side of the area, we will tell you those dates. And on the corner, on the far right corner, we will tell you the age of the person when he died. And again, all this is coming just from the family tree, but it's presenting the details in a different way that you may not have realized that somebody actually died young, or on the contrary, it survived for many, many years and it died when he was older.
Daniel,
And
I
then,
noticed that looking at like when they had the child, like their ages of like at the birth, that I always assumed that, my ancestors, they got married really young and had the kids really young. And I realized when we put it in this view, I was able to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I I'm making assumptions that are incorrect. And that's why I'm not finding the rest of the records I want to find. I was looking at dates that were quite honestly just too early. I was realizing that for that area where my ancestors lived, the women actually were much later having children. And so I had to start adjusting my assumptions on when they might have gotten married.
exactly, exactly. And if you don't have a marriage date, well, you can take the year of the first child, and then
Mhm.
you take 9 months or a year before that, and you start looking that. But also here, like, you will notice that if your great grandfather, for example, was around 21 during World War I, oh, so maybe you will have some military records
Mhm.
related to World War I if he was part of the military during that time. So yeah, it is really a help on your research. Now, on this very last example that I have here, I actually don't know the date that Carla was born. So that's why there is no date here in the connector. And also that is why we fade to white one of the corners for that person. If the person will be alive here, you will have a different icon and you will have the age of the person currently. And the cut, it will not be rounded, but just straight. And that will tell you that this person, at least on your family tree, is marked as alive. For any person, you can, from those three dots, go and work on your family tree, edit the profile or view the profile, view the tree, research this person. This is not just a view. This is a workable area where you can change and you can add the information. And one last thing I would like to show you here is how we help you with the consistency, because in this case, the connector for this person, for Joseph Jansen, it's not connected to the father, and in fact it has a red dot, and that tells me that there is a consistency issue here. And for many, many years, we had already under family tree a consistency checker. And you will need to run that and see the report. But here is the first time that you're actually seeing that consistency issues live on your tree. And it's telling you that Martin died like 60 years before Joseph was born. And that is practically impossible, right? I mean, today science can help you with that a little bit, but not like 60 years before. And you can see also that the father up here is actually a very small circle. And if you go up, you will see that the birthday is 1878 and the death date is 1845. Well, that is impossible. I mean,
Yeah.
science can do a lot of things, but not to allow somebody to born after the death. Probably I made a mistake, and instead of 1845 was 1945. That makes more sense. So this is something that only with this view I will be able to notice and to correct. Now, this view can be downloadable. First, can be customizable, and you can make up to 9 generations here without any problem. And you can download this view and create a PDF that you can share with other family members. And this is a great present to encourage people to come and to know better their family tree. Or if you just want to show off, you have a way of doing that here from social media, or a link that you can share with other people, or you can customize a little bit this. Now, one of the things I know a lot of people ask, because they come here and they said, okay, this is great, but I want to see actually a timeline for another person in my family tree. So right here in the left corner, all what I need to do is start writing the name of the person that I want to generate that timeline for. And this is all information coming from the family tree. So let's say that I would like now a timeline for my aunt. I click on her name and you can see immediately that is created. And you have now my aunt in the first person here, and all the ancestors that she has right there in the timeline.
It's a great feature. I'm just loving working with it and checking it out and really just kind of looking at those ancestors from those different points of view.
Mhm. Lisa, I don't know if you have any questions regarding the timeline.
No, I'm not seeing any here. So, guys, if you have
Okay.
questions about the timeline, feel free to pop up in there. Let's see. No, I think we're
Okay,
good.
so if we're already talking about my aunt, and we were talking about this relationship report before we went live, I would like to go now to the family tree menu. And now I'm going to click on more, and I will see a little bit more options here. And one of it is the relationship report. And this is something that we had over there for a long time, but we decided to go and put a little bit more of details and improve it a little bit more. So I have already here displayed that, because I wanted to make sure to have a faraway person in my family tree. So basically, it will work like this in the same way of the timeline and a lot of other features on MyHeritage. You can customize the individuals that you are building this tool just by typing the name of the person, and we will select them from the family tree. And here you're going to see a very nice way how you or any other person in the tree are actually related. And the one of the improvements that we did here is precisely the marriages connection. So now bigger trees will have a better relationship display, and also this view can be downloadable, can be shareable, can be printed, and especially to showcase or to enlighten people that are not so used to the family tree. It's much easier, when somebody says, well, how we are related, how I am related to you, or where is our connection coming from. So you can generate this chart or this view, and you can just send it to the other person, and you will see, okay, so we are like second cousin twice removed, because the father's brother, son, wife, and this can go again. I have seen examples that really can go up to 20 people jumping, not only birth, but also marriages. And for really complicated families, and we all know that our family is complicated, okay? It will shed some light into the relationships.
I love this one to be. It was like following this little footpath going through the tree. It was just a really, I loved being able to do it, because sometimes you find clues somebody's mentioned in a record and you're like, I know they're related, but I don't remember how or where. And this is a great way to figure it out.
Yeah, and the good thing is that you don't need to come here and to generate this report. Actually, in a lot of places on the website, and I'm just going to go back here and just choose a person on the what we call the left panel. You will see always the relationship, and in any other places, again, the matches, for example. Whenever you will see the relationship, you're able to click on that relationship, and we will pop up that same chart. And from here, you can again download printable or just edit the relationship report or the individuals that are involved in this report. So you will always know uh, who is that person in the tree. And talking again about complicated family trees, sometimes if you're researching or you're looking for a match and you land in a person that you are not sure how this person is related to you, this will be the best way, just to click on the relationship and to get the report right away.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if you want to go to some of the questions that I'm seeing here, Lisa.
It looks like the questions I'm seeing are related to that DNA question that we had earlier. Do you want to
Okay.
do those now
Well, I'm
or
just
wait?
seeing Kathy asking about a JetCom.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and if we are here in the tree, I would like to say yes. Right here from the family tree menu, yes, you can import a JetCom from any other place without any problem. You should be able to export the JetCom from any other genealogy website or software and
Mhm.
upload to MyHeritage. And I do know that some people prefer to upload the JetCom. Other people prefer just to build from scratch the tree, and it's kind of a validation and making sure that you have all your sources and all your citations and all your records and everything. It's up to you. You can do both, and the end result is going to be the same. The technology is going to act in both cases. Now, the other thing, big thing that we released in RootsTech, and you can already see here that under the photo menu, you have this big new thing, and we're talking about Live Story. And Live Story is kind of the next step of a technology that we released last year called Deep Nostalgia. I know that for some people, Deep Nostalgia was creepy enough. Looking at those Harry Potter style pictures that suddenly came to life. And I have to agree to certain extent because I really loved seeing my grandparents and great grandparents again moving and even winkling or blowing a kiss. And we really try to bring those people into the most human way. Besides the technology that we released a few months before that we allow to enhance, colorize, and repair your old photos. Now, this is kind of the natural next step because once you have your picture repaired, colorized, and enhanced and moving, so why not allowing them to tell their stories, to give them a voice? And I'm going to start by saying, yes, I know it's not your grandmother's voice. It's not either mine, but it's still very nice to be able to hear the stories. And if you think on the younger generations, it's really very hard to catch their attention for more than a couple of minutes. But if I can show them a picture of a person that they never knew, and they can hear the story from the actually from the mouth of those people, they are really going to enjoy. And I have hearing already a lot of people commenting and sharing the surprise of the little kids hearing their stories of their family. So what you're looking at right now is at the live story section. I came to photos and click on live story. And the reason that you are seeing it like this is because I have already been playing with it and I have a few already created. If you haven't been here, probably you're going to see it more like this. And what MyHeritage did here is took all your death relatives with pictures in frontal part and offer you to create a live story for them. And it's just an easy and simple as clicking that button and wait for a couple of minutes for the story to be created. We're going to enhance the picture to make sure that the quality is the best we can get for you. We're going to gather all the information that you currently have on your family tree and the pictures that you have associated not only with this person, but also with the close family of this individual. Once it's created, you will see it right here. And you're actually going to get also an email letting you know that the story was already created. And in here, you can just play and hear the story. I don't know if you will be able to hear it.
Yeah, the voice isn't coming through, but we can see her talking.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably because I'm not sharing the sound, but you can go
Yeah.
ahead and go and hear it. Now, if you will allow me, I'm gonna just go back and choose another person. I think Joseph, it will be better because once you have the video created, you could very easily share it both in social media or to other family members with the link. And one of the good things here is that the other person doesn't need to be a MyHeritage member. So that link is totally open and anybody in the world will be able to see that video. Now, if you share it in social media, and this is good news for everybody, I guess, and if you do it right now, I mean, not in this moment because you want to see everything that we have here to show you, but during this week, we have a competition. So you can go to blog.myheritage.com and read all about it. And you can participate and probably win some prizes. So always good. But once you're here, as I said, you can share, you can download, or you can edit this story. And a lot of people I have heard that they are kind of not complaining, but saying, it will be great if I will be able to customize or to write the script of what I want the person to say. And here you have it. Like any of those chapters, can be customized just by typing a new text over here without any problem. You can modify that. You can hear it and see the pronunciation and if this is in the way that you want to sound. You can add another chapter, and when you do that, we will suggest you different options, different chapters, subjects that you can explore and keep changing. You also can edit the picture that we're using on the background. And sometimes, well, we may not have found a proper picture. So you can just drag and drop one or open one. Yeah, not documents probably, but other pictures from the family that are in your computer. And let me answer here a question that I know it's coming very soon on the chat. You're not able to use a picture that you have previously uploaded to MyHeritage. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's just uploading new pictures. And I read a question or a comment over there in the chat. Can Daniel tell us what's coming next? Well, we are planning to improve the live story and the process. We are hearing feedbacks and we are starting to code already some of the things that people really would like us to have over there. And then the other thing is the voice option. And I'm sorry you couldn't hear it actually in English talking, but we understand that you may have the story of a child and you would like to have a more childish voice, or your relatives is not from the US and then you want to have it with an Australian accent or Ireland, New Zealand, South Africa, or UK accent. So you can actually decide to change the voice of the person, or you can also change the speed of that voice. And depending on the age of the person or depending how you remember this person, you may want to do that voice slower or faster. And once you have done all the changes, and you can click here and hear that specific voice sample, all you need to do is to save and create again that live story. It will take a couple of minutes and it will be ready for you right there. Now, another question that I heard a lot in social media is, well, yes, I am navigating in English, but my ancestors actually came from, Lisa, yours was Lithuania, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or it
From,
can be
I'm sorry, I didn't hear mine were from where?
your ancestors. You were telling me they came
Oh,
from Lithuania.
Lithuania. Yes, yes. My husband's, yeah.
Or maybe they came from another country. So MyHeritage supports 42 languages,
Mhm.
and we have selected the 30th most used languages to have samples of their voices. So if you have like a Lithuanian ancestor, you can come here, you can change the language of the navigation into that specific language that you want, and you can recreate the video with that language. And the person will speak with an accent, or if you have your family tree created in that language, which is actually the case for this specific example, which I'm using Hebrew for this, the video will be created in that language. So the
Nice.
idea is to be able to give you as many options and as many opportunities for you to edit and to modify that history, or that story, in order to be able to share with other family members.
Can I ask a question, Daniel?
Yeah, sure.
At the beginning for the live story, I think you said when you create it that the MyHeritage goes ahead and it enhances the photograph, or do we need to enhance the photograph first and then start the live
No, no,
story?
no. MyHeritage will do that. Let me
Okay,
just run one of it right here live, and we will tell you. For optimal
gotcha.
results, we are enhancing your photo. Once the photo is enhanced, now we're starting to write the script. And if we will wait here for 3-4 minutes, you will see that the video is already created, and you will see the play button and the share button and everything.
Continue.
You can walk away from that page with no problem, and you can come back and you will see that story also in the line of the other live stories that you have. So here you see we're writing and creating the video. And you will also receive an email letting you know when the video is ready, and just coming back to this page, you will find the video right there.
Nice, very nice. Nancy had a question in the comments over on
Hmm.
Facebook. She wanted to know, she said she's trying to change her grandfather's color. I wanted to change my grandfather's colorized to blue and doesn't know how.
Okay, I'm not sure if she's talking about her eyes, maybe,
I'm not
but
either. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that the grandfather was part of Blue Man Group, but but yes, let me show you, for example, one that I have here created. So this picture is originally black and white, and we have colorized here. So what you can do, if you want to play a little bit with the colors, is going up here into the setting wheels of the colors, and you will not be able to play with the colors itself, but you will be able to play with the contrast and the saturation and the rendering, and that will change a little bit the colors in the image. And yes, remember also that this is not a perfect, 100% perfect, and I will be the first one to say, but is the closest one that we can get with artificial intelligence. And yeah, we're trying to do a good job for everybody. Now, if we detected the wrong color for the eyes, which sometimes happens, um, first of one, I let me be the first one to apologize for that. But there's really no way to play with the exact tones of colors of the picture.
Gotcha.
Now,
That makes sense.
I do have heard of people that they want to use this version of the photo for the live story. Okay, and we normally don't do it because the personal picture is actually the original enhanced, but it's black and white. So my suggestion to that is just go ahead and download the improved photo that you have here for the person, and then when you create the live story, upload and change the personal photo for this one, you will get a more realistic story or image of the person right there.
Okay, that's a good tip. Yeah, and that goes back to if you're going to change the picture, you have to pull it in and upload anyway. So that
Yeah,
works. That makes
exactly.
sense.
hmm
Definitely. All right.
Now let me Lisa give you
Uh-huh.
another trick, uh, because some people want to create more than one family story for their individuals.
Hmm.
You will notice that I had already a Joseph Jansen history over there, but and I will not be able to see him on the suggestions because I already created one over there. But if you come here to the left panel, you will notice that one of the options is to create his life story right from here. And I can click this as many times as I want, and I can create as many life stories for that person. Now, if I do that 2 times, the story is going to be the same because the pictures are the same and the details from the family tree are the same. But I can go and edit in different ways that life story. So
Hmm.
I can take one that was created automatically and modify to make more emphasis, let's say, on my maternal side or on my paternal side. And then I can have different stories for the same person telling different things. Now, if you allow me, because we were talking before offline, I would like to share this with all your audience as well, because I
Sure.
have heard very good ideas of people with these life stories. One of the ideas that we were talking about is somebody created based on a recipe of the favorite dish cooked by the grandmother. They created a life story where the grandmother was actually telling the recipe, the ingredients, the procedure of how to cook that meal. And they added a little bit of extra information saying where this plate is coming from and why the family liked it to prepare, then why that grandmother used to prepare it in a particular time of the year. So you can really create a life story of any subject that you want related on any individual or any family branch that you have.
I can just see so many possibilities with that and using those life stories and creating almost like the mini life stories by those chapters and that will really engage the younger generation and future generations into family history. I mean, this really, I think, as you said, particularly, for the very tech savvy generations now, I think this is a really great way to open up those conversations and get that thinking on people who aren't used to thinking about family history.
And again, remember, this may be creepy for us, and I'm going to include myself with the over 50 years old and people that we knew and we uh, like knew how they looked and how they act and how they speak. But for the younger kids that are already doing all these social medias and interacting in a different way, to be able to see a relative, an ancestor, telling their stories like almost like magic, this is really a good hook to
Mhm.
bring them then into the family history.
Well, I loved what you said. It's like the Harry Potter pictures. And you're right,
Yes.
and my readers and followers know that, when it first came out, I was like, I don't know, but by using photographs that were not of people that I knew, or not photographs that I was scared of when I was a little girl, and then I could, that made all the difference in the world, really.
Yeah. And I see Kathy here
Yeah.
asking a question, very relevant, because she
Ooh.
wants to do a live story of a live relatives. And no, actually, let me go to Brian Jansen. You will see that there is no option to build a life story for any living individual. MyHeritage, besides taking a lot of care for the privatization of the information and making sure that everything goes according to the law and by the book, one of the things is that we didn't want people to misuse this technology. So the first time that you are creating a life story, you need to agree to the terms and conditions that says that you will not create a life story for somebody leaving. And in that sense, MyHeritage will not suggest you or really allow you to create a life story for a living individual.
Yeah, I think at that point you're probably, Katie, a better option is probably just, maybe taking a videotaping that conversation with, like a cell phone, and, you know using it from that point of view, whether it's a family Facebook page or something like that, would be a good
Yeah.
way to do it.
Or even a Zoom, but
Yeah.
I can understand, like there is no substitute really for being able to interview your relative and hear with their voice and my uh, pray or pledge or whatever you want to say. Yeah, exactly. It will be to run and to do those interviews ASAP. Okay,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter the age of the person. Uh, life happens. But yes, Kathy, if you have a very old person or a unfortunately sick and they don't remember or they have any troubles articulating and being able to tell the story, I understand why you would want to have this life story created for that person. But unfortunately, I mean, I'm not going to be the one telling you how to use this technology. MyHeritage will try to prevent people from using it in bad ways with living individuals.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Um, okay,
Any
so
more? I
you
don't see
you
any more
had this
questions about that.
question,
Yeah.
Lisa,
Hmm.
that you asked me before.
Yeah.
So if you want to read it while I do here the adjustments, the necessary adjustments to give the answer.
Sure, sure, guys. So, Danny had emailed me and said that he had uploaded his DNA test from Ancestry to MyHeritage, which you can do. And when he did that, to do it, he started a test tree with his parents' names and his name. And then he uploaded the GEDCOM with all of his ancestors and their descendants. So about 2,000 people in that tree. But he can't figure out how to attach his DNA to that tree. So in other words, to unattach from his test tree and put it on the regular tree. So he's trying to figure out how to accomplish that. And Daniel's going to show us how.
Okay, it's actually very easy, but yes, let me prevent first this from happening. If you are planning to upload a DNA test to MyHeritage, and you can do that from most of the companies out there, so you don't really need to buy a MyHeritage DNA kit, so that will save you a little bit of money. You can go here to DNA and you can upload the data that you should be able to download from the other company, and you will get the matches, you will get the ethnicity, you will get everything that a MyHeritage DNA kit will give you. But in the process of uploading the DNA, you're going to prompt with some questions that will actually create a family tree for that individual. So again, this is my request. So please, before you upload the DNA, upload a GEDCOM of the tree, or build a family tree. And then when you upload the DNA, you will be prompted to put the name of the person. And if we find that person in the tree, you will be able to connect it much easier. But if you didn't do that, if you are right now in that predicament, it's actually very easy, because when you go here to DNA, you will be able to manage these DNA kits. Okay. And once you have those DNA kits up here, you will see that actually this is assigned to Brian Jansen in my tree, and this was an upload. So whenever you go here, you click on those dots at the right side, and those are the more options, and you will be able to reassign this kit to a different person. All you need to do is to start writing the name of the person, and let's say Smith, and the information is going to come here, and you will need to just click on the tree. Now, the only thing is that you will probably see, same as I have here, for example, my name different times. And the reason for that is because you will have one family tree, which is already assigned, and another family tree, which is the new tree coming in. So the trick will be to know exactly which one of those individuals are the one that you want to attach. You can either delete the family tree that you already have, or just try to attach to one person, or to change a little bit the name. Let's say on the tree that you have uploaded, instead of Daniel Smith, just call it Daniel Smith, okay. And I will know in the tree that this is the Daniel Smith that I'm looking for. And whenever I come here and I start typing Smith, I will see here Daniel Smith, okay. Oh, this is the person that I want to associate it. So you just select the name of the person. You acknowledge that you have obtained permission from that person, if this is not you, to upload their DNA, and just save it. And everything will match and will be synchronized with the person without any problem.
Yeah, that's a really easy fix. So thank you for sharing
Yep.
that on that.
With pleasure.
And it is, it makes perfect sense. Sometimes I think we think, okay, we need to upload our DNA. We can do this and go over to, upload our DNA from Ancestry to MyHeritage. But it's easy to forget. Oh, it's probably easier to think, do the tree first and then do the DNA, as opposed to,
Yes.
But because we're thinking DNA, we're doing the DNA first, and sometimes that can trip us up a little bit. So
now, I would like to leave you here with two websites or two URLs inside the MyHeritage world, just because I know that this is going to be recorded and posted there, and people are coming later to see it. And I mean, for me, more than welcome to write any questions on the video. And Lisa, you can send it to me, the questions, and I will go directly into the video and answer with no problem. But I will suggest you all to visit first the MyHeritage knowledge base. And in order to do that, it's very easy. You need to go, the URL, it's education.myheritage.com. And the reason for that URL is because here you will find articles, you will find webinars, you will find videos that may have the answer to your questions. Okay, and we show you here on the how-to videos how to do all those different things. And you have a search page right here. So let's say that you are looking for how to upload your DNA. Oh, so I have articles, I have an FAQ, I have a video that will show you how to upload that. Or you can take advantage of the free genealogy course that we have here for everybody to do. And even if I heard this list of people that are long time into the genealogy world, that are learning and are refreshing the things that they know about that. The other URL I would like to leave you with is the blog.myheritage.com, because that is where you can keep yourself up to date with what is happening. Here is the life story recap that we did about yeah, this was yesterday, day before yesterday, where we announced this competition, that it's still available, and you can participate just by creating a life story and sharing it with other people. But also the new things like the timeline or different stories. I just don't want to scroll too much further down because I want to emphasize about the podcast that we also released a couple of weeks ago during Rootstech. And the idea of this podcast is not to teach you anything, but just to allow you to hear the, I would have to say, fantastic, very emotive stories that MyHeritage helped to create. We just released our second episode. The podcast is called Blast from My Past, and you can find it in any way that you are used to hear your podcast. This is the story told by the people themselves, and how MyHeritage helped make those connections and make those discoveries, and it's really very nice and reconforting to hear that a lot of people are taking advantage of this technology and are using it and are finding their relatives through it.
They
Okay.
are fantastic. I love that podcast, and just have some tissue.
Oh
when you
yes,
when
yes.
you listen,
Prepare
I'm
the
like, oh,
tissues before you hit play. Yes.
that's right. Grab the tissues, but they are incredibly uplifting, and really, yeah, I love it. So I watch for those new ones to come out. I have put links to the blog and to the knowledge base there in the chat, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll actually put it also in the description when we're done. And so those are there for you. These are sites. I use both of these sites or pages over at MyHeritage. And I use the MyHeritage knowledge base because, things change and things update. And maybe I don't use a particular feature for a while and I need to remember, how did I do this? So I use that regularly too, with that. And then the other thing I put in the chat, guys, is is a link to my email list. So if you want to get weekly emails from me, I've put a link for that there in the chat. MyHeritage is currently running for my followers on my email list a wonderful offer. So go ahead and check your emails. And if you're not on it, you can sign up for my email list and you'll get another email. So be sure and do that. Katie wants to know how she can see you in Sacramento.
Oh, very easy. Just come to the NGS conference. And if like you're not registered to the conference, normally the exhibit hall, it's open for free to everybody. So you don't need to attend the lectures over there. I'm going to be there the whole weekend. So
That'll be
yes,
great.
please, Caddy, pass by and just say, hello, I'm Caddy from Lisa's cousin. Are you my
Are you
cousin?
my cousin? I know. I'm
Yeah.
unfortunately not going to be in Sacramento. I'm going to miss that one this year, but yeah,
Hmm.
hopefully soon. So, oh, thank
And
you, June. That's really
yes,
sweet.
no, I totally agree with June, and I have to admit that I'm kind of a new subscriber to your emails, but
No
I find
worries.
them very, very interesting and very nice, also very informative, and I am enjoying it very much.
Oh,
So
good. Thank
thank you,
you.
Lisa, for that.
You're welcome. For those of you who don't, if you don't receive my emails, I do email every week, and I was doing on Mondays. I've kind of shifted it a little bit to Tuesdays, but you should get some. It just kind of lets you know what's kind of new, what I've done new, what new blog post or a new video that's out on YouTube, as well as anything up and coming like these chats that I have, like with Daniel today. Katie wants to know, when is the conference in Sacramento?
The conference starts in on the 25th. Wednesday 25th, and it goes up till the 28th.
Okay,
So
that's
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
in May.
Yes, I'm sorry.
May. Okay.
Yes, April is Ohio. Actually, pretty much the same dates. April, Ohio. May, it's
Ah,
Sacramento.
you can just
Yes.
spend a whole month here, Daniel.
Well, I have to admit that I used to do that before COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if there are conferences that are close enough, instead of, yes, going 12 hours back and forth,
Yeah.
I have a base in New Jersey most of the time, but I also
Oh.
take advantage of visiting other societies
Hmm.
and lecture in person, which today is still not fully going on.
Right.
But hopefully next year, all this will be behind us. And yeah, I will be able to do long trips and I will be able to start scheduling live appearances
Yeah.
at your genealogical society.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. I know. Hopefully I will be doing, I'm still doing all virtual at this point. Most folks are, that I have done. But it has been nice because it's allowed me to speak to folks that I would not normally get to speak to, kind of thing.
Well,
So,
yeah,
couple.
definitely. The virtual component is not going away. It's here
No.
to stay.
Yeah.
The amount of people also enjoying lectures from different places is definitely a plus. But it will have to be a mix. And I do know that, for example, in Australia, they're planning in November a mixed conference. It will have both the virtual component and the in-person component. And Barbie, yes, Canada is a place that I love to visit. Toronto, I have been there a couple of times. So yeah, I have no problem traveling.
You sound like me. I love to travel. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's see. There were a couple questions. Danny said, "Will the time come when I can give you a recording of a voice I would like the person in the life story to use?"
Yes, I have
Interesting.
heard that sometimes. I think the technology is not yet there, but hopefully, yeah, in the near future. I don't know if we will have it or somebody else will come up. I have actually think somebody said that the technology was already available,
Oh, wow.
that you can upload someplace a sample. Now, the thing is also how many people will have a sample of their voice of their ancestors that they can submit in order to create that video. So go
Mhm.
ahead and start interviewing your ancestors so you will have that voice in the future.
That's right. I just came home with um, my grandmother's um, voice telling us how she made the cornbread on a flash drive this a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, yay. So anyway, and one more question before I let Daniel go. It says, "Are you able to ask questions about your tree at MyHeritage?"
Well, there is an FAQ or a help center right in the top right corner of your screen normally. But also you can just simply type your question in the knowledge base and the knowledge base connects to that FAQ. And from there, you will be able also to contact with the support people. Wonderful people that they don't work 24/7, but they do work hard answering the questions as fast as they can. So
Yeah,
yes.
and they are very, very supportive, definitely. All right, guys, thank you so much, and Daniel, thank you so much. I've learned some more things about MyHeritage that I can't wait to get into a little bit more as well. And so, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll have to have you back again sometime soon.
Whenever you want, it's really my pleasure. I enjoy it very much as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.